fellow travelers. I'm Ninja, and I'm joining Chibi and Vertic at the Golden Feather. Come in, grab a seat, and let's share tales of adventure.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your hosts, Chibi and Vertek, discuss Ashes of Creation and important topics spoken about within the Ashes community. Every week, we invite you, the viewer, and a special guest to pull up a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. Today is the 11th of August, 2023. We are on episode 175. We've titled this one Ninja Loot That A2 Pack. And the traveling bard joining us today is a ninja. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. My sleep schedule is a bit upside down, but otherwise good.
Oh yeah, we tend to do that to folks across the sea there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. We're excited to talk things over with you. And how are you today there, Chibi?
I'm doing pretty well. I just realized that my mic is not the correct mic, but it's okay. I'll roll with it for today because I don't see a way to change that. So.
Oh no. Sorry, you sound alright.
Alright, cool. Now it wants to recognize it. Whatever. I'm very excited. We have somebody who I've never had the pleasure of chatting with before. Thank you so much for being our last minute guest, because I was just telling Ninja earlier that I kind of got a little carried away with work and forgot to schedule somebody this week. So.
Oh no.
Here we are.
And then our savior came through.
Yes.
You would have probably found somebody if I hadn't joined.
We could have had our pupper on. She would have been talkative.
Yeah, absolutely. If she would hold still, maybe. So, tell our lovely community who you are, what you are intending on doing, if you're intending on being a content creator or not, and just more about you.
Hello, I'm Ninja or Viking Ninja. I haven't really decided on a name for my content yet. When Alpha 2 comes out, I'm planning on being a bug finding and glitch exploit and whatever, just general broken game finding YouTuber, and streaming a little bit on the side if I can get it in. I don't really have anything done already since I'm waiting for Alpha 2, so don't have to take my links into account really before that happens. And other than that, I'm from Denmark, and why am I forgetting how old I am? I'm 24.
Nice.
Sorry, after a while, just the years kind of disappear, don't they?
I'm always a year older than the current year, because I was born in 99.
Oh, nice. That helps.
Hey, makes life easy. But yeah, it's a good thing you like trying to break games and all, because that's exactly the type of people we need during alpha testing and beta testing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I myself
stuff.
found about 4 different glitches, but also found 4 different item duplications glitches in New World when it came out.
Oh, nice.
I think one of them still works to this day, but the game is already pretty much dead, so it doesn't matter much.
Well, for the sake of game launch,
I reported all of them to the devs, but most of them has gotten fixed.
Yeah, most of them. I like that. That's what seems to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, for the sake of game stability, you'll be able to find a whole lot of them. I know I'm going to be trying to get in everywhere and break everything myself.
If I haven't crashed the server at least 10 times by the time Alpha 2 is over, and I haven't done my job properly.
Too much rubber banding you can encounter. But So, what is it about Ashes that kind of caught your interest over other games? What has you waiting on this game?
Mostly the first time I saw it was when the Battle Royale came out. Didn't really think much of it at the time, so I just ignored it. Then I came back after Alpha 1 because I saw people playing it. And for an Alpha 1, I thought it was really, really well developed. And then I checked on what they're planning to do, and what they're planning to do seemed almost like the perfect MMO to me. At least my idea of an MMO. Most of the time it's... Yeah. Let's say that's one of the reasons why I decided to throw 250 at them for Alpha 2.
Nice. That was going to be my next question. How you played again being in Alpha 2. So I guess you did ninja loot that A2 pack.
Oh yeah, I got the time I bought was not this dwarf pack, but the last dwarf pack.
Gotcha.
The one with the fugly looking mount, the one that has like the bulldog ram looking one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I like that one. It's one of those so ugly it has to be adorable type things, right?
Yeah. They're basically the same reason why pucks are even considered cute. They're so ugly that they are cute.
And welcome in there, grumpy guy. How you doing? Hope you brought plenty of chicken. We'll be talking some stuff today, for sure.
Yeah.
So what class are you looking to play, and why that one?
I don't have a hard set on any class, but I'm thinking about cleric.
Nice.
Because I generally like healing and being responsible for people's health, but I'm probably gonna have at the very least an alt character that's a rogue. Because that's what I mostly played in WoW for open world PvP.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I don't know. In WoW, I couldn't get into the rogue too much, but I know in some other games I loved it. I know in Baldur's Gate 3, I'm loving it.
Oh, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now also. I'm just got to level 6 in it.
Nice.
Oh wow, yeah. See, I'm I think level 4 right now. I'm one of those people that I have to open every box and like climb in every little nook and cranny and find all the things. I gotta be rich. I have to have all the items I can possibly have.
Oh yeah, I'm a loot hoarder too. I get over encumbered all the time. I have to give stuff to my other people.
Yeah. Currently, right now, I'm working on decorating my camp with all the paintings I can possibly find. I think I have 5 of them sitting around right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, about that Alpha 2 stuff we were talking about. Did you see the news on that one?
Yeah. You go.
Sorry, I was just saying, before we get too far into that, I would at least like to outline today's topics.
Okay. Well, hey, you go ahead and you do that. Unless you had other questions for Ninja.
Well, I was just making sure we were done with the questions first before I mentioned anything.
So, we're done? So we're back to the question.
Yeah, I think we're...
I think I lost the thread what we were going on about.
It's okay.
No, go ahead and outline the topics.
Okay. So today we're talking about Alpha 2. It was announced that September will be the last pack to have access to the Alpha 2 pre-orders, so we'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about PvX within the game, such as different mechanics with bosses and respawns, etc. As well as some various topics and the new depth discussions. So, assuming that we are burning to talk about Alpha 2, let's just go ahead and get into that.
Yep. What do you want to start with then?
Want to go into that A2 launch speculation date?
Sure, whatever you want to start with.
All right.
Sure.
So
We can go with that one.
yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll at least bring up the FAQ at some point while we're talking about Alpha 2 about when the last packs are coming through. But there was a post here by Levi31K trying to speculate about the dates, saying that we know that naval content, summoner class, and other small details won't be present at launch of A2. If the node system's finished, we'll see it this month. The A2 possibly could launch at the end of this year. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
I doubt it's gonna be the end of the year. It's probably gotta be early next year. I think so. Before summer at the very least.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've been thinking myself. Just because, to be honest, there's a lot of stuff they got to prep for the annual, charity stream that they do, and then the holidays coming up, and it seems like Steven's always really generous with that with everybody at Intrepid. So you don't want to take a chunk of time off like that, and concentrate on spending time with family if you're going to also need to be concentrating on fixing up an Alpha 2 server. So I also doubt that they'll be launching it at the end of the year. I think at the earliest it's got to be like at the end of the first quarter of next year.
I'd say they said they were going to be doing internal testing by the end of the year, and then he said that Alpha 2 was not right around the corner, but it was also not years away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm basing it on. It's probably gonna be at best early next year, at worst probably either summer to late next year. But I'm almost certain it's gonna be next year.
Yeah, I would stake a lot of money on the fact that Alpha 2 is not coming out this year. I know Steven had said that there might be some internal testing and such, and some like spot testing involving others later this year, and that I could totally see, because those are going to be very controlled, and hey, we're going to bring it up for a day and test a thing, or we're going to bring it up for a couple hours and test a thing, and then they shut it down, and there's no real commitment to being there for a really long time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think also the Alpha 2 is gonna last a long time. It's gonna be, you're gonna need to do a lot of testing to make sure that it's good when it comes out.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they don't, from what Steven said, they don't have done yet, and some things that I'm assuming they may not have even started on yet, with maybe some of the classes, or the archetypes I should say. So
yeah,
I think they're gonna need a good bit of time to get that stuff in there and make sure it's running well.
Hey, Zaria.
Hello there, Zaria. And nice.
Come on, nice.
Oh, you're pretty tired today. We'll try and see if we can keep it peppy for you. Make sure you don't fall asleep on us.
I was gonna say there's a lot of guesses of what people are looking at, and I'm seeing a variety of times within 2024, and then a few people that are overly unoptimistic with saying later, like 2026.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of skeptic people in and around this.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty normal.
And
people are wary of it.
Yeah. And there's somebody who's responding saying that given they're releasing the last package for Alpha 2 next month, most likely somewhere close to this spring, summer, we'll see Alpha 2. And basically, I tend to agree, I think, with that in general, especially seeing how they treated Alpha 1. And
Yeah,
go for it.
I was just gonna ask. I think you did the actual count on how long it was between when they got rid of the Alpha 1 packs and Alpha 1 actually came out last time, right?
I had intended to before the podcast, but I was a little distracted. I was hanging out with well, actually I was hanging out with Vladis.
Okay.
Vladis was streaming, so I decided to pop over because I never really get to pop by people. So
Yeah, I'm actually low-key, I was licking Vladis until it looks like he just ended.
yeah. But I'm gonna hold what I heard Vladis talking about until we get to the actual part where you're putting the cosmetics up on the screen and we're talking about that. But
Okay.
yeah, I do remember there, I think if I remember correctly, the last time that they did a last chance at getting the Alpha 1 keys, that year they didn't do Alpha 1 giveaway. I can't remember.
I don't think it was there for it, so I don't remember either.
Yeah,
I
just
can't
remember
recall.
like they weren't giving either way. Either or they might. Like, I'm just preparing for this year. Like, they may or may not give away a few extras, and I mean, it could make sense if it's going from September to October 12th, and then they have their charity stream, right? So potentially giving away some extra keys if you weren't able to get in. Although the big difference, I just want to make this very clear, because each year that they've done it, we've been a part of that. And I got really lucky last year and won a couple of keys that we re-gave away to the community. But that key only gives you access to Alpha 2 or Alpha 1 for whichever version that they were giving them out, but none of the following ones, just that specific one. So for example, if you won the Alpha 2 key at their charity event, you would only access Alpha 2, not Beta 1. So I think they didn't announce that the next pack. Yes, that's what we were just saying. Yeah. Hi, Zelen. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like sets it up really nicely for pretty early. I actually saw, I think maybe Nice or a few other people that were putting up polls on when people thought that, you know, Alpha 2 was gonna have release for it. So
yeah. I just know that it's gonna be a heck of a time to be around when Alpha 2 does go live. I think people are gonna go kind of nuts.
Oh, absolutely! I know. I'm excited.
I say they did also leave themselves an out in stopping of Alpha 2 sales, as they said that if it warrants it, they'll bring them back.
Huh, I did not see that.
When you go into their official website, their Intrepid website, and you see the news, there is an FAQ also on.
Yeah, we're actually about to pull that up.
Yeah, and in that FAQ it says that they'll bring it back if it actually is needed to be brought back.
Gotcha. Well, I guess now's a good time to go ahead and swap over to that.
All right. Yeah.
We may decide to expand the amount of Alpha 2, Beta 1 and Beta 2 testers needed. At the time, we may provide more ways for folk to attain access. That's 5 in the FAQ.
Okay.
So there's a chance,
Yeah,
but there's not. It's not a promise that they'll allow more in, but it's just a way out in case they want more in.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice. Over 50% people voted post 2024 for Apple 2, and I was like, come on. I saw it like briefly.
Yeah.
I think you posted it in the Discord, and I had like briefly seen it because the Discord was kind of flying for me at that moment. But
Yeah, it's a little bananas of a prediction. I don't think it's going to take that long. Not that long.
Yeah. But yeah, and they have like the whole like, why are the pre-order packs ending? What will the final pack set look like, etc. But I think it's important that, you know, they have a definitive list of things. But I don't think it's necessarily like an out. I think if you think about it, this game has been in development since 2017. And a lot of us have been Kickstarters or forgotten completely about the game since Kickstarter. And so the number of people that potentially have access to Alpha 2 may not even remember they have access to Alpha 2 or have no longer any interest in Ashes of Creation. So I think for Alpha 2 to be successful, in order to properly go into the betas, they're going to need a threshold of people. And I could see them needing to open up sales again, potentially, to be able to allow more people, which, I mean, at that point, at least, there would have been I imagine it happening during Alpha 2, just as an aside. I imagine there would have been at least videos of people playing Alpha 2 and like Ninja over here finding all the bugs and posting it on his YouTube. And then people are like, whoa, I'm interested in playing. How do I play? Right? So I think it would be beneficial if they do open it to do it a little bit into Alpha 2 to let people kind of see.
That people get hungry.
Yeah. Well, also, it's like, it's easier to be hungry for the food that's in front of you.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I like the idea of seeing people who like really wanted, like, were really against what's it called? Really against like the game, thought it would never come out, like really didn't like it, and them like being really wanting to get in after the alpha comes out. So I find that really funny that if that happened, that they couldn't get in because they had that attitude to start with.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I kind of hope that doesn't happen, because the more people who like the game, the more likely it is to be a success.
Well, also, I've seen people change their mind really quickly on things because we're human, right? And different input pieces kind of change our thoughts on things. You know, like seeing the world update, for example. Our starting video has an older version of the panning through the different sections of Farah. And I was literally talking to Vertec about that during the countdown of, I need to update that. That's really old footage at this point. So my plan is to hopefully get some of that during the Alpha 2 test, is to be able to maybe get some nice scenic pieces of Alpha 2 as a recording. So yeah, welcome in, Nemesis, by the way.
Just go through and record a couple hours of different sceneries and different things going on. We can pick and choose and create like a slideshow of videos or something.
See if I can just zoom all the way into my character so that I don't see anything but like the world around me, and then also hide the UI, which if you want to like show the we were actually talking about this for tech before the stream. Okay. Enjoy. But the newest pack, I want to like show that real quick, just in case somebody hasn't seen it.
Gotcha. And yeah, nice. You take care. Catch you around next time.
I like the compensate with a non-AOC.
All right, so let's take a look at the actual pre-order packs here.
Yeah. And we were talking, the main reason I want to pull this up is because I mentioned Vladis. Vladis wasn't too much of a fan of this set. And some people did mention that, there's a hill.
Somebody got a champion to the hill.
But is that like, it kind of comes off as like a branded set versus like something that is like more lore based. But if you read the lore, it is lore based, but it also happens to be their branding image at the same time.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
So some people did not like that so much. I feel like I have to go buy that necklace now that I know what the backstory of that necklace is, because I'm going to be a cleric. So,
yeah,
but
goddess of creation.
Skin, yes, that is not a housing necessarily. That is a forge up in the corner, and I thought that was interesting. And I'm sure since it has the dwarves all over it, I'm interested in knowing what Thogli thinks. We're going to ask him next week, because he's going to be our guest next week. So since he's the guild master for hey, I won.
TGFT, bringing the tea.
Bringing the tea. Since he's the guild master for Dunehold rigged, I know, I'm sorry. I just thought it'd be funny to get his input for the forge skin.
Yeah, and just the lore behind the forge itself.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't know, Ninja, Dunehold is an all-dwarven guild.
Yeah.
And
I've talked to their guild leader a few times.
Aren't they awesome? They're so sweet. They love their roleplay.
Nice. It matches well that I want to be a Dunir dwarf, but yeah, I already
there
have
you
a guild.
go. Aw, well, you'll be brothers in arms, not necessarily in guild.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You can have two different dwarves, so they can be distant cousins.
Yeah, it's a roar. But if that necklace is available now, imagine what we'll be able to get in game. Right? Exactly. But I mean, I think it's cool. I didn't realize that the symbol of the goddess of creation was the same thing, so I was just like, oh, that's neat. And of course, Embers in the Wind is playing right now. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah, well, see, I suppose that also brings a new meaning to the name of the game, doesn't it? The goddess of creation is a phoenix, and the phoenix, when they die, they turn into a pile of ash and are reborn from it.
Yeah, so ashes of creation. I like it. Big brain move.
Yeah. Connect the dots. I love it.
Yeah.
The world's about to be reborn.
Absolutely.
I see the necklace makes sense. It's also cool looking necklaces. Also, the skull is also really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Vertec was like, look at that flaming skull. And I was like,
flaming skull. You know, I saw someone that was a little upset that it wasn't purple. Because purple and green and such are usually the colors of necromancy.
Yeah.
Rather than like demonic and devilish forces being like the red and orange and stuff. You know, Bochi, that's a really good question. If you have full plate or honestly any kind of clothing, will the necklace always appear on top? If you're able to do multi-layers, or if it looks like you have multi-layers with armor and such, I would assume that would always be on top. Because that would be a terrible cosmetic to buy if it's not going to show.
It would be kind of cool to have like a layering system. Because then it kind of gives you the idea of like D&D, where you can hide things, like hiding a certain sigil if you're in a warring tribe or something like that.
I would assume there's an option to show, or have it on the outside or on the inside. Like, show it, not show it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what would be neat? You know how they have those little toggles for helmets? Like, show a helmet, don't show a helmet?
Yeah.
If they had something like that for the necklace systems, where you could either, you know, show on top of armor or below armor, and you could still see at least like a chain around the back of the neck.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool, because I do like that. Like, if it's gone completely, then I can't pretend that I like tucked it under something, because then you don't even see a chain anywhere.
Yeah.
But speaking of ashes and recreating, if it's okay, I'll pop over to the next topic.
Yeah.
Okay. So while Vertec shares that, a little bit more. I found this on the forums and I found it interesting, and it's a suggestion of no res at shrine for guild or node sieges. And before anybody goes up in arms, because there's a few people that already did not like it, but it's just an interesting conversation topic to me in general. And the idea is that if you are in a siege against another, like, I guess, a node, or like against the people sieging you, and you die, you either need to be rezzed by a character within a certain amount of time during that, or you cannot res again.
So more like a strategic. So instead of a meat grinder, it's more of a strategic. Like, can I rush in here without dying and actually get some value out of it?
Yeah. They're also suggesting like limiting how many times you could res. And I kind of like it because it does add a little bit more of that like risk versus reward, right? But at the same time, I do absolutely get where people are not enjoying the idea. Especially because the devs have already said that the sieges won't have death penalties. So if they're not going to have death penalties, then why am I not allowed to re-res? Because like in World of Warcraft and the Battlegrounds, you can re-res and go back into the fight, right? So what are your thoughts?
See, personally, I like the idea. I'm not sure if they would work mechanically.
Yeah.
Because I think that would make metas develop a lot more towards having specific, like a lot of healers, a lot of like people able to rest, and just having a lot of kamikaze people that just runs in to kill other people, then get rest after they kill other people.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that becoming a thing, to be honest. I mean, I really, just concept-wise, I like the idea of having, say, like 3 resurrections available.
I think having a limited amount of resurrection would make sense. I don't think having one or none at all makes sense.
Yeah, but I think even having a limited number of resurrections per character, I think even that, like you said, it would bring a meta towards having a lot of tanks that can just soak up a lot of damage. And then some healers in the back to do the reses, and then just a bunch of damage dealing. I mean, it might balance itself out after a while, but it might also just tilt further and further towards that meta of having just a bunch of tanks to run forward and try to slap people around.
Yeah, I could see that. For me, I mean, either work for me personally. I could understand there being limited reses, but it's also like I can understand wanting or desiring to res as many times during a siege as possible to continue with aiding the defending or the attacking of a node. So,
but you know, even though I kind of like the concept of the limited res, the opposite point of that is that I think that it would be much more dynamic and fun gameplay if the focus was around accomplishing goals rather than not dying.
Yeah, I like that.
I'd say I like the goals too, but the main point of it would be that if you have a limited amount, it's basically like starving out. Let's say well, the word is you're sieging, so you're under siege. You have a limited amount of supplies. There's only so much, so many deaths, so many resources you can expend before you don't have any more to fight back with.
Mm-hmm.
I say that would make sense in the way of having a limited either respawns or limited resurrects or something like that.
Yeah, I think it'd be a tricky thing to try to test and really play that out.
I think that's something that should be tested in Alpha 2, but that's why it's there for testing.
Right.
See, the tricky part is also my understanding of old, like, real-life sieges of castles and such. It was more of a war of attrition. Like, there were siege engines and things like that to try to tear walls down, but for the most part, it was a cut off their supplies and wait until they surrender. Because trying to attack a city wall while they're prepared is I mean, that's a dangerous living right there. Yeah.
Yes. I see I'm not an expert or anything in that department. Unless there was ways to exploit, like a sewer to go through or something else. Like most of the time, they would just starve them out, or they would just surrender because they would know that it was impossible for them to win against them. But that's not really possible for us here, because you wouldn't want to surrender your node to getting destroyed.
Yeah. Another thing that was talked about in the forums was Dolium was trying to think of a fourth player combat flagging status. He says, I was brainstorming, and from what I can tell, corrupted players will continue to gain corruption when defending themselves against non-combatants who attack them, due to non-combatants becoming combatants when attacking corrupted players. I see this as a bit extreme, especially if the corrupted player only killed 1 or 2 greens.
Well, it is supposed to be a deterrent. You're just not supposed to become red. Becoming red is the ultimate sign of, okay, so either I got really pissed off and killed him because it was satisfying, or he had something I really, really wanted. You don't do it for just shits and giggles.
Right.
And also, like they would have to deliberately not attack back, because you're gonna lose a lot more XP dead if you just stay green than if you fight back.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those where, like, it's hard. I like Lineker's answer. Lineker was, I want to test their systems first, fully understand it, and see what player behavior with the system is like before thinking about making suggestions or asking for something to change. Hello, Izzy. Because another point that was made in that thread is that people are not going to play the same way that they would play in the live game as in the Alpha 2, because they know that their character is going to get thrown away, so they could probably care less. I'll just make a new character, no problem.
Actually, the only counter to that is the fact that Alpha 2 is going to last for a long time. So if you keep throwing away your character, that's going to be a lot of effort to re-level it again to then do whatever other stuff you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only other thing I can see with that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it does come down to just seeing how it's implemented and seeing really how it can be balanced or needs to be balanced further. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like was already mentioned, it's meant to be a punishment. So, you know, you can either die enough to kill off the corruption level on you, or you can go do not player murder things to clear off some of the corruption.
Yeah.
So you have plenty of options to do fighting that doesn't involve killing innocent greens. In the ocean, there's no PK penalty. Fighting caravans doesn't have a PK penalty. There should be plenty of ways to scratch that itch without going after random people in the open world.
Yeah.
Unless you're just a dick that wants to see people suffer, then that's the thing.
Wazzy says I'll start over 8 times. I need to know which class I like most, and that's fair. That's fair.
Oh, I'm gonna be playing all the classes in Alpha 2. I'm gonna be trying them all, but I have a feeling I'm gonna end up as a cleric.
I know I'm gonna try cleric eventually. I know tank. Tank is
nice.
That's enough. I think that's enough character slots. That might be all my.
We don't really know much about the archetypes, like the augments from picking your secondaries, but I kind of want something that leeches mana if we have any secondary that does that.
Mm-hmm.
So Bochi's asking if there's a breaking train in the background.
Okay, what?
Oh, just some background noise leaking in, and Bochi was asking if it's a breaking train in the background.
Is it from me? If it's from me, it's because I'm making food.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good time.
I didn't think it was loud.
It's not necessarily loud. It's coming through.
Okay, I'll try to keep the mic away from it then.
But yeah, Wizzy, I think you're gonna be one of those that we're just gonna have to look at and shake our head.
Yeah.
You're gonna be pushing that boundary and flirting with that line. I have a feeling.
I'm gonna be killing a lot of people.
Wizzy will leech mana because of all the healing she will be soaking up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And we'll probably have our corpses pickpocketed.
Absolutely. That's
one thing I'm gonna be
some of our friends for sure.
I see a lot of people saying that they will just go red and then have their friend kill them to get the items back. I don't think these people understand the amount of XP that you'll be in and the amount of dampening you'll have. Your character will be out of commission for a long time afterwards.
Yeah. So the next topic is a couple of them that are kind of intertwined / intermixed. And the first part of it is from Chicago on the forums, talking about instanced dungeons. Chicago says, I like the fact that dungeons and Ashes of Creation are open world. However, I think they should have a cap of players that can enter each dungeon. A good example is Anarchy Online. They had a player cap of about 16 to 24 players per dungeon before a new ID was formed or a new layer. The problem with open world dungeons is on paper it sounds fun. You can PvP for the chance of loot, etc., but in reality, it will be chaos with servers holding anywhere between 10 to 20,000 players. And at a given time, people will just skip dungeons altogether as competing against 500 other players for a chance of loot is just not worth it. And that's also with the idea that, everybody will be together. Sorry, a little bit distracted. But yeah, that's with the thought that everybody's going to be in the same area.
I'd say that's, in my mind, fundamentally flawed. The world is huge. Mm-hmm. You won't be people won't be in the same area unless they are. I wouldn't necessarily call them stupid, just not very smart. Like there will if you're being smart at all, you make sure that you have a lot of people that go to a different node across the world and build up there. I say, I severely doubt we're gonna have 500 people gunning for the same dungeon unless that dungeon somehow has the end all be all gear or resources or whatever.
Yeah.
And making a limit just removes the ability for people to PK to take it over.
Yeah.
Because the guilds would just pop as many guild maps they can in there as possible to block access to it.
Wizzy says, no, the best time I ever had was in a dungeon in UO with 100 people on my screen. The lag that came with it. Lagtastic PvP with corpse looting is hilarious.
That sounds fun. I never played ESO before.
Yeah,
yeah, go for it.
I don't know what to think about the instance versus open world dungeons and raids. Really gonna have to see how it plays out. I know that I don't think I'm gonna be a fan, but I also know that some of the other systems and some of the other results and whatnot are going to be influenced by that. So it sounds like they're going to be basing a lot of stuff upon having that extra friction between players, and that may end up helping to balance things out in the overall run. But I mean, I'm open to having my mind changed, but I think I'm not going to be a huge fan.
Yeah. So the reason why I brought that up, and I'm going to post these at the same time, is because a different person, Dolium again, was worried about spawn camping for bosses. And Dolium says, so from the showcase we've seen, you portal into the boss room in the dungeon to fight them. His concern was what's stopping players from just waiting there until the next spawn. Going through this thread, people kind of mentioned like in L2 that there's different quests and stuff that kind of require you to go back like out of the dungeon and then go back into the dungeon if you want to do a different one. It'd be a different quest kind of.
See, the understanding I got was that the most dungeons are actually quite big and they can fit multiple groups of people at the same time farming it. I would hazard to guess that the boss is going to be something that has a decently long spawn timer and it's going to be not easily predictable, or at the very least it's going to be a random time between, like, let's say 1 hour to 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So camping that, let's say for 5 hours for the chance of getting into it, I feel like that's going to be less profit than just farming in general. So I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's the thing though, is there's going to be a really long spawn time on bosses, so there really is not going to be able to be multiple parties running through to farm the same stuff at the same time, right? It's going to be someone's going to run through and
boss, but they can still farm the mobs. I don't think the mobs are going to have a long spawn timer.
Yeah, but at that point, that's only going to be done for experience, so why go into an area that's going to be contested to try to earn experience when you get to hang around outside and kill mobs that are going to not be contested?
We still need, as far as I understand, we're still going to get the stuff we need from mobs and stuff like that. Low-level stuff is going to be used in the end game still.
Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Just as a heads up, our ad is about to start in 2 minutes. The ad will run for 3 minutes, but then there will not be another ad for an hour, and we do that to keep pre-roll off because we don't like ads in general. So don't worry, we will take that time to not talk about anything too interesting, but also like just a little bit of heads up for the people that are around, just so that you guys can stay a part of the conversation. Penumbral says, random spawn time, where are the stars? Might add to a number generator. Well, Lizzie, you can check out that thread. you can check it out to see what everybody's talking about. I don't know what to tell you. But it's literally titled Preventing Dungeon Boss Spawn Camping, so.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Everything is subject to change. Everything can change, everything will change.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a given. It's more fun to talk about our own thoughts and opinions though.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah, I think because see, there's so many complications that the current information that at least I have seen and come to know about the dungeons and raids. There's so much stuff that's gonna just add complication to it. Like for instance, the random spawn timer. That means you can literally never plan on actually doing a raid. You're gonna need to plan on trying to do a raid out of the multiples that are in the world and hope that one of them isn't already being raided.
Well, see, one thing I'm not completely sure if this is in the wiki, but I think I heard this somewhere. There's gonna be quests that give you, let's say for the bosses that actually have rooms where you go into, where they have tokens that spawn the boss for you because you need to do the quest. Stuff like that. I think most main quests are gonna have a way for you to fight the boss even though somebody already has done it.
Yeah, quests
maybe,
specifically,
yeah.
but are they going to be
Not
repeatable
open world. Yeah.
infinitely? So you can always plan to go like every week to raid with your guild, or is it going to be a one time because it's that quest?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have stuff like in WoW where we can actually fully plan out and say, now we raid on that and that time. I don't think that's going to be a thing in this game.
Penumbral says, or you have to run the same dungeon several times waiting for the boss to spawn. Yeah, I could see that because somebody else got to it.
Yeah, and that'll be another reason to not farm, enemy mobs just hanging out in the dungeon, because look at any other game with raiding. Like, how many times do people really look forward to just killing trash?
Yeah.
There's none ever. It's always the bosses, because the trash might, maybe, possibly have something, maybe. Kind of.
Yeah, sometimes on certain levels, some of the trash has like an item that you are hoping to get that's a random drop, but outside of that, like, it's trash. But we are in an ad, so I just want to take this moment real quick and say thank you so very much to everybody who has supported us recently, either through subscribing or donating. We are very greatly appreciative, and I'm happy to kind of announce that I'm going to be working with a few people to make sure that our TGFTavern website is up and running soon, at least the beginnings of one, because I had it mocked up, but I had a bigger plan, and I'm getting help with it, so I'm very excited for that. But additionally, I just wanted to let everybody know that going forward, Vertec is we're basically streaming Friday through Monday, now that I think about it. We're doing our podcast tonight, and then tomorrow Vertec's doing basically a coffee quest, and then I will be doing a chill stream on Sunday. Thank you, Ninja, for the sub. We appreciate it. Thank you for supporting us. I appreciate that.
It was a Twitch Prime one. I don't think I've had that sub for years. I think I've used it like a total of 10 times.
That's fair. And then I will be starting doing D&D on Mondays instead of Sundays, because we had a switch up with our party. So at 8 p.m. on Mondays to 10 p.m. Eastern time is when we're going to be doing those. And I will be doing my best to record those and get them up on our YouTube as like a VOD of sorts. Maybe do a light little bit of editing, but otherwise not really too much. But and I pretty much took over most of the ad break with just those little updates. So yeah, and I think you're playing Baldur's Gate 3 this weekend, and so am I.
Yep, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow.
And when we do it on Sunday, the friend of ours that joined in, he likes to role play as well. So we've been like kind of role playing a little bit as we play. It's been fun. So just some things to look forward to. And the Sunday is at 4 p.m. Eastern, and the Saturdays are 11 a.m. I think Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I changed it up to 11 just because 10 is a very quick time to get up for me, and I like to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah, Vertec's the sleepy sometimes. So at this point, I would like to swap over to the dev discussion now that we're back from the break. And
is there any more noise in the background now? I should be done with everything I was doing.
Not at the moment, no. The dev discussion number 54 is on in-game content, and it says, what are you looking forward to the most in-game? An example may be game system, fantasy you hope to carry out, or a specific activity with the other players.
I don't think I have, specific, like, I say, I want to at some point own a tier 3 mount, but I think that's more a general goal than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing for fun I think I could consider is, since I'm a cleric, I've been for fun thinking of doing like like a crusade against the Tolnar for the fact that technically it stayed behind. Maybe they're unclean or something. It's not really gotten any further than just thinking for fun, since we're all ripping at each other in the Ashes Discord. Thinking that could be like a fun excuse to raid, let's say, a Tolnar node or something.
Okay.
Goodness. Yeah, sounds like it's gonna be an amazing raid.
Out of game consequences. That's fun.
I never really thought about what I'm looking forward to doing most in the game outside of literally just testing all of the tank classes and trying to break stuff in the alphas. But once the game goes live, I think it's just going to be experiencing the everything and trying to get my quest log completed, do all the quests that come available.
I think if I have a personal goal that's more specific, I think that would be one of the more well-known crafters for armor and weapons in the game.
Nice. My intention when the game comes out is, I'm sure Wizzy knows, I really enjoy crafting and just kind of, I guess more of the casual, comfy PvE kind of vibes. So I could imagine myself enjoying just whatever it is to do with the tavern, and then also making potions for alchemy.
Oh, I love gathering. I did that way too much in New World.
Oh no.
Well, that was literally the only thing that was superb in that game, was gathering.
Wizzy.
I'm dead.
What?
Wizzy says, wait, the Tonar are unclean? You mean the indigenous folks are scourged because they've always lived on the land you've invaded?
They lived under the land, okay?
Yeah, technically. They hid. Okay, they're coming from the Earth's crust. I don't know, I'm not backing
the main reason why it started was because Steven confirmed that canonically that they interbred with the lesser races, and they have magic to make that possible. And then the meme was born that they essentially slept with animals. And that's why they have such a very genetic code.
I'm personally looking forward to seeing who of my friends play Tolnar, and the height difference and just the racial differences in like storylines and everything else. So, oh my gosh, Nemesis.
But yeah, there's too much to do and too much that will be there to experience once everything starts really growing in the nodes, that it's hard to really name one specific thing.
Hey Vertek, can I request something from you?
You may.
Could you pull up the memes that I have in there? Because this is like perfectly on brand with what we're talking about with the tavern, like running a tavern.
Okay.
So I went on the Reddit to grab some things, which I honestly need to go back on the Reddit more. I keep like getting everything from the forums lately. And I found these two cooking memes that people made. One is me cooking food for citizens at my city's most it cut off a popular tavern. And the other is me after reaching level 100 and cooking. And I really enjoyed those because, well, the first one's just silly, but the second one, oh my gosh, Vertek, we have to try it. Whatever it is, we need to like slow that down, replay it, and then try that recipe in the air fryer or something, because it looked delicious. But
I hope they have cooking things at the same level as Monster Hunter when they do the cooking in that.
Can you elaborate, just in case people hear?
In Monster Hunter World, there's like when you get the food boss from the Kingos, the cats, they have like a really, really good, fun and good animation when it comes to when they cook the food. But they basically show them chopping it up and doing all the things to it.
I remember that, and they always served it so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it's a bit elaborate, so I don't blame them if it's not in, but it would be nice if it was something like that.
I wonder if there is because like, you see World of Warcraft and it just looks like you're just like scraping your hands together, and then suddenly there's an addition in your inventory.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I could see some of the like more interesting animations, or even like a nice little display after you made something, maybe for the first time. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Genshin. I don't know if any of you guys played Genshin, or even I think Breath of the Wild did this, where there's like different stars of recipes, and you have to, like in Genshin, you have to make a recipe 5 times as a 5-star to be able to not have to play like the little mini game thing to make it a 5-star again. It would just always be a 5-star from there. And I kind of like the idea of like when you make a 5-star, when you unlock the ability to always make it as a 5-star type of cooking thing, just having a nice little display on screen with what the food looks like. But that's coming from a role player who's also a foodie. I completely get if that's not a thing either. But it would be nice.
I love food too, and I always make my own food, even in real life and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to. If I wish I was a little bit more creative, or we had a nice little kitchen, but it'd be nice to make like a little video of like cooking, kind of like the one about reaching level 100 for cooking, because that just looked mouth-watering, and I wonder what it tastes like, and I hope it was delicious, because it looks delicious.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be done at some point. Maybe we'll have to see about this large, but you know, something like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Heroes slicing it open, or filleting it as they call. Putting some, I think it was prosciutto.
Cheese and prosciutto.
And, the Munster cheese.
That looks very good.
Right? This just looks so delicious.
I mean, it's like a giant steak burger.
Yeah.
It's basically making a schnitzel, but with stuffed schnitzel.
Yeah. That just looks so good. Oh my gosh.
Well, I tend to think that sushi is the food of the gods. That definitely comes close.
Yeah, right? They cooked it too much. Needs more pink.
I mean,
you
I
are
would
very
agree
much
with that.
like a Vertec.
However, the only bad thing about that, Wizzy, is that you filleted it so thin to make the cheese on the inside melt that I'm not sure you could melt the cheese and have more pink on the meat there. You have to cook them separately.
You could probably sous vide it.
Or like a lower temperature for a little longer, maybe, where like enough to make the cheese melt, but not fully cook the meat through. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think the best way to do it is sous vide it. Yeah.
I like how we're dissecting this like random video.
Yeah, sous vide, nothing to do with. You know, set it at like what? What is medium rare or rare meat at? What's the temp supposed to be on that?
I don't even remember.
Probably
I just
90 degrees or something. Just give it a good char, toss it in the bag. 90 degrees, go. Sorry, and I am actually getting the next video ready because it has audio that it's not the same without the audio.
Oh, okay. You know what? I haven't actually heard the audio. I was just watching it without audio. I found it amusing just enough with that. Also, shout out to our awesome friend who made our thumbnail background, if you will, aka our TB and Vertec welcoming you to the tavern image. And yeah, Undead Pally got another shout out by Ashes for this week's fan art Friday. So it looked really awesome, in my opinion. I think we shared it here before. It was the monk kind of, or shaman or summoner thing.
The summoner, yeah.
Summoner.
Yeah, dwarven summoner.
It kind of reminds me of a monk, but like probably from one of my D&D games.
Okay,
for some
here
reason.
we go.
I like it though. I love it. Undead Pally, you're awesome at art. I'm just gonna say that. I love
Absolutely.
looking at your art.
And I'm gonna go and play that after I get done playing this thing.
Okay.
Or I want to go and put that on screen after playing this. But yeah, here is the video, and it's totally different with audio. So Oh, Lordy.
Not the video, the next thing.
Yeah,
seen that one before.
this next one we're showing.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
Oy.
Things people make with that was a thing.
That was a thing.
To be fair, I just saw it without audio, so I had no idea what the audio was going to be like. Oh gosh.
Don't hate on the dubstep. I mean,
That
you're allowed to hate
sounded
on
like
the dubstep.
a little bit of like a dying dubstep, though, in my opinion.
We'll call it death step.
Oh no.
We'll add more
Please,
guitars.
please don't. No. Because then somebody's going to take death metal and then combine it with dubstep, and we're just going to have, I don't know, something.
I mean, just saying, Skrillex did that with Korn and made like metal dubstep, kind of.
True.
There we go. Yeah, that's Undead Pally's work. AKA, and I might butcher this, but I'm going to try. Wuching Yi.
Hey, that was actually not too bad of a pronunciation from what I recall. So, but I love it. It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we shared it before, but we can't help but overshare. Some Undead Pally work.
Oh, yeah. But I think with that, we are definitely over our 1 hour mark.
Yeah, we are. Indeed. Indeed, indeed.
You loved this one today? Thank you.
Oh, good. Glad you have fun. We love being here.
Yeah. We love it when you guys are here, too. Have a great
Let's see
conversation.
If there's anything left that I was looking to chit-chat about, I think we kind of covered it all. There was just a pair, obviously the A2 stuff. I mean, jeepers.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, a sign that it's coming.
Yeah. A reinforcement that it's coming.
Yeah. A reinforcement. Yeah, that's more like it.
But very excited. The only other thing I had was kind of what we are seeing on screen is Steven moving everything around with the UI, because I liked how that's an actual visual of being able to do that. And I don't think we talked about that previously, so I wanted to bring that up. But that's about it, really, for me.
Yeah, there's Yeah, no, I think that's about it, because there was a couple of the random topics. But you know what? Yeah. Let's bring it. Let's chat real quick about the last topic, the one from Solverin.
Okay.
Haven't brought up a Solverin topic in a while. So this one was about this viewpoint that racials are better than personal story when it comes to characters. Some of the main points being that sorry, one moment. Oh my goodness, I had a crazy sneeze. It was coming at me. Oof. So kind of the idea that Solverin's trying to get across is that racials seem to tell more of the story of a race rather than the personal stories, like Guild Wars 2. They serve no purpose or utility. It's just basically just pure lore. Mm-hmm. But he also says that Ash's spin on racials seem to be the best yet, especially if it stays in respect to racial lore. And I think that's the key, having racials in respect to racial lore. Flavorful, and only a few can extrapolate the full benefits, but not all the time. So what What do you think about that, Ninja? Are racials more apt or just better at kind of explaining the background of a race and where they come from and what they do, rather than having side quest things that don't really do a whole lot for you but give you more visible and written lore?
I don't think there should be anything that is specifically made for you. If it's something that relates to you, like you specifically saving like a whole keep of maybe your race, or in any other way saving the world, then that makes sense. But I think in general that I agree that speaking through the lens of the race is better than through you personally.
Yeah, see, I've always liked when games do things that tie in closely to what the race is, rather than just kind of giving them something or not giving anything at all. Just all the races do all the same stuff. But every time there's an expansion and a new race is brought in, they obviously have something that they do that's unique. Like be it architecture or a certain type of technology or certain type of crafting that gets introduced to the game. And I've always thought giving racial abilities focused around that type of thing that makes them unique helps them kind of feel a little bit more special in that regard.
I sadly don't think that's gonna be a thing. At least compared to what Steven has been leaning to. They have removed the racial base stats, so your base stats are no longer based on your race anymore. It's based on your archetype. So I don't think he's going in the direction that he's actually gonna give races special abilities other than like augments, and as far as we know, augments aren't gonna change the class or the race a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of visual changes.
I see there's gonna be some effective changes, because like there is augments that specifically like change the element of what your attacks or something like else, so it does mechanically change what you do. We just don't know to what extent an augment will actually change what you do.
Yeah, but I think at least with those augments adding something that really fits with the racial background, rather than just being kind of cool and unique to a race, but actually really fits in with the lore.
I think a good example of that would be like a fire spell against the one that's Dragonkin adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not as effective.
Even with ashes, if you're like the wood elf type, the Pyre, maybe some of your spells can be heavily nature influenced with the augment system.
Yeah, I think there's lots of things they could do.
I hope that will happen, but I have a feeling it won't.
Yeah.
I have a couple fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. I won't be terribly disappointed if it doesn't, but I'm still going to be hoping for it. But yeah, I guess aside from that, did you have anything else you wanted to share with the class there, Ninja? Anything you wanted to plug or tell everyone before you run away?
Not really. I think I covered most of it at the start.
Oh, well, there's people that come at the end, so it's just more.
Well, as for right now, there's not really anything to plug, because I'm going to become active when Alpha 2 starts. I'm going to be finding and reporting various bugs, exploits, and glitches in Ashes Alpha 2 when it comes out.
Yeah.
Right, well, there you go. You heard it here first. Come Alpha 2, we're going to have a ninja running around testing bugs and glitches, and going to be able to be found in those places eventually, but currently right now there's not going to be a lot of activity, so don't expect it until later.
Mm-hmm.
But Chibi, how about you?
Nope, not really. I think we've talked about everything that I want to talk about.
Alrighty. Well, then I guess unless somebody does a steer the raid, I do believe we could probably raid over to Tech Deck, maybe.
Mm-hmm. He's playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Ooh. I might have to sit here and watch him for a minute while I go get some food.
Yeah, I have a hunger as well.
Food, good.
Mhm.
But either way, everybody, you have yourselves a lovely evening. Hopefully, you'll enjoy watching some BG3. Hopefully, you got farther than Tech Deck is, and you won't see any spoilers. We do appreciate the time you spend here. We love you for it. You spent it here. You could have spent it doing anything at all. And the fact that you spent it here honors us, and we love you for it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And until next time, we'll see you later. Take care, and have a happy weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.